Oh, hello there, Hollywood Times viewers. Judy Shields here. We're excited to have the lead singer of Ricochet, the hardest working band in country music, Heath Wright.
Hey, Judy, you said that exactly the way we rehearsed it. Thank you.
All right, good. Thumbs up. First of all, I have to comment on, what's behind you. Look at that award. I recognize that award from, it's like,
Well,
look how
that
beautiful.
was my ACM back in the day, my 1997 new vocal group or duo of the year.
Look at
So
that.
I used to use it as a doorstop. It's real. It's got a few marks here on the back of where the door would hit it, but I decided to put it place in my bedroom. So
Actually, what's on top of it, Heath? It's got the,
this part.
yeah, it's a hat
Well,
with a record, right?
it's a cowboy hat. In the industry, the ACM award is referred to as the silver hat. Like the in the Academy of Arts of Video Arts or whatever they call it, they call
Yeah.
that award the Oscar because
Yeah.
the guy that looked, I guess his
Look like
name
an
is
Oscar.
this one they call the silver hat, and it's got a little guitar right here on the front of it, and it's got a couple of microphones coming out of the side.
Okay.
I've never seen a cowboy hat. I own a lot of cowboy hats, but I don't own any that have microphones coming out of them. So
Yeah,
it's
no
it's
kidding.
it's the only silver hat that I own, and it's the only one that I have that has a guitar stake, or I guess that's a guitar. It could be a banjo. No, no. Oh, I'm just now noticing this. I've had this award since '97.
No
Not a
way.
banjo. It's not a guitar. It's a record album. It's got little grooves in this part right here. It's got little grooves in it, and it's
That's a
got the.
record.
I never even noticed that. I never looked at it that close. And so it's like a record with a guitar neck and two microphones coming out of it of the
That is
hat.
pretty
So
awesome.
but they don't look like this anymore. They're not. They don't have
Oh,
the
I know.
wooden
That's why I
base.
was saying. Yeah, they're
It's
different.
all metal now, so it's all made out of metal. I guess
Yeah.
wood became maybe the I don't know. Maybe the California folks decided that we were cutting down too many trees to build awards with. I don't know. I
I
don't know.
guess, but it's beautiful and congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, don't let that one get anyone take that away from you.
No, no, I slept with that the night that we won it. We were on taking a short break from the tour that we were on, which was with John Michael Montgomery, and so I just kept it in my bunk. I put it in the corner of my bunk, and I slept with it for a week or two, but till we got back home, and I could put it on my mantle. But every time I would roll over, one of the corners would kind of hit me in the face. So it was it was a love-hate relationship there for about a week.
Yeah, I've been part of the back in the day in the 80s and 90s. I was part of the ACMs where I'd go to all the award show, and they started off at Knott's Berry Farm at the Good Time Theater in Buena Park.
I don't know.
Oh my gosh. And that's when we got to, as members, we got to hang out with all the stars. So I had dinner with Johnny Cash and Merle Haggard. I mean, you name it. I've met them all back as fans,
You're not old enough. You must have been a teenager or maybe a little kid. You're not old enough to have hung out with
I'm
Haggard and
63
Cash.
now.
Right on. Well, you're holding up well. I guess everybody, it must be that California living.
It is. I'd say that would be my father who was from Oklahoma and my mother who was
Oh,
Hispanic. So there you go. Spiro.
hey,
It's from Spiro, Oklahoma.
hey, that is right here in close to where I live. I live in Vienna, Oklahoma. So you
Yes, I
probably
know
know.
where that's
I
at.
know exactly where the Spiral Mounds,
Yes.
the Native American mounds. Yes.
Yes, and we had kin in Pawhuska, of course, Oklahoma City. So yeah, I've been to Oklahoma most of all my
You know
life
how to pronounce.
growing up.
You know how to pronounce all the weird,
Yes,
Native American names of towns. We have Tahlequah,
yeah,
Wewoka, Tecumseh, like you said, Pawhuska. Get
Pawhuska.
this one, Okfuskee County. Okay, that you got to be careful with that one.
Oh my
Okfuskee
gosh, no
County.
kidding.
Yes, I saw a brand new newscaster fresh out of journalism school one time. Horribly mispronounced that one time. You can imagine what she said. Yes.
I won't try that. Oh my gosh. Well, we just wanted to let our viewers know that you know, uh what's happening. And I hear that there's going to be a new album release August 18th called Ricochet Then and Now, The Hits and More. I am so excited for that to come out because just following your career has been amazing. And we're also here to talk about the Wounded Blue Partners. So go ahead, pick which one you want to
Well,
start with.
let's start with the new album project.
Yeah.
We're also very excited. It's been well over a decade since we released anything new to the public, and in 2008, I just decided to move home to Oklahoma. I lived in Nashville for 15 years,
Wow.
actually exactly 15 years. I moved out there May 18th, '93, and I got the last load of stuff moved back home to my ranch May 18th, 2008. And I had decided that, Nashville was pretty much done with me, and I was done with them, and I was just going to, live here on my cattle ranch that my parents left me, and take care of cows and just be a cattleman during the week. And occasionally in the summer months, I would go out and play a few county fairs and make enough money to keep the bills paid. And I had resigned to the fact that that was my life now. And then, fast forward about, I don't know, 12 years or so. 2020 was when I made this decision. So yeah, 12 years. During the pandemic, actually, I was sitting here at the ranch, and I was not doing anything because, that kind of disrupted all of our lives. And especially us gig workers, us entertainers who go out and make a living, and we depend on large gatherings of crowds. That's how I don't really, I don't go to my mailbox and get a royalty check every quarter like a lot of great songwriters do. I have to go out on the road and sing those songs and make a living doing that. And I was just sitting around the ranch. We played 9 shows in 2020, and I had a lot of free time on my hands, and there's only so much fencing you can do. And there's only so many cows that can be taken care of. And so I had a lot of time on my hands to sit around and do nothing and think. And I got to thinking, I'm not done yet. I'm ready. I really want to do something more. I want to hear my songs on the radio again. I want to get back on the Grand Ole Opry. And I had a call from a guy named Josh Blight, and he and his partner, Kirk Webster, own a management company in Nashville called Spinning Plates Management. And they had called me a couple of months prior to see if I would be interested in letting them represent me, me and the guys. And I turned them down at first. I didn't really, like I said, I'm just going to live here on the ranch, going to play the county fairs, blah, blah, blah. But come 2020, I realized that I wanted more. So I called them back and asked them if they were still interested in representing me. We took a meeting at Cracker Barrel in Nashville, and we decided to form a partnership, and I let them represent me, and I gave them a laundry list of things I wanted. And of these things was I wanted a new record deal, and I wanted to put new music out to the people again. And by golly, in a year's time, they checked everything off the list. So here we are. Come August 18th, I've got brand new music coming out. It's exactly what the title says. It's Ricochet Then and Now. It's a hits and more package. We decided to re-record 6 of the old hits, songs like Daddy's Money and What Do I Know and Love Is Stronger Than Pride, and some of the people's favorite songs. Yeah. And we decided to put those on a project. But then we realized that it had been over a decade since our fans had any new music from us, and they had been sending us emails and commenting on Facebook and stuff like that about how what happened to Ricochet. Are they ever going to release anything new? And so we decided that 10 new songs would be a good little addition. So this is a 16 song package. 10 of them are brand new, and 6 of them are re-recordings of the old hits. And I'm really excited about getting it out there.
Well, since we're going to be talking about the release of the album, and like you said, you have the then. So let's talk about now. I really like to talk about each of the songs. And who wrote them, where the title came from. So let's talk about Keep You Lovin' Me. I love that song. So let's talk about that.
Oh, I love this song, and I'm glad you picked that one. We just added that song to the show. It's one of the new songs. I wrote that song with my buddy Greg Cook, who's one of the original members of Ricochet, and our friend Noah Gordon. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, Noah produced this track on this particular song. I think it's the only song that he had a hand in the production, but he's a great producer, great songwriter. And I think back in the 90s, he was an artist. He was a recording artist, if you want to do your research and look back that far. So Noah is a great talent. He's a treasure of Nashville. And we had a lot of fun writing this song. It's silly. It's about this guy that he'll do anything that his woman wants just to keep her loving him. And so and I had a hand in writing some of the lyrics. And there you go. I thought I'd get a thumbs up from you on that. I had a hand in writing some of the bridge. It's like Oprah, opera, nonstop shopping, shoes galore. Symphony, just a bunch of things that women love to do that men may or may not like that much, but it don't matter to him. He's going to do them just to keep her loving him. So, guys, listen close. It's a how-to song. How to keep your woman loving you.
I was asked which was my favorite, and actually that one was, and the reason is because I'm listening to it. I'm like, I have to play this one for my boyfriend because there's times when I don't feel like he's loving me right now. And so see how songs inspire? That song's inspiring me to push it forward to him to say, hey, come on, you got to give me a little bit more. So thank you so much for that song.
My favorite, you're more than welcome. My favorite part of that song, honestly, is the guitar lick.
Yes, you gonna do it for us?
Yeah, it's like wake up every morning, put on a cup of coffee. Anyway, you guys will have to give it a listen. It's like I said, it's a fun little tune. It's not going to cure cancer. It's not a thinker. It's not one of those I hope you dance songs, but it's fun and it's cute and it's got a cool guitar lick.
I think it's a good cure your heart, and women, we're going to be giving that to our those who are married, lucky enough to be married to their husbands for their anniversary. This is an anniversary song. Come on,
There
for
you
women to
go.
give to men.
There you go.
Oh
Well,
my gosh. So the next one is called No Wrong Way.
no wrong way to fall in love. I wish I'd written this one. This is one of my favorite tunes on the album. This one was written by Greg Cook and Noah Gordon. So I guess they lost my phone number that day. They didn't call me in to help. But it is one of my favorites. It's a story song, and I love story songs. This all sort of began from we had a manager back in the day. Now, many of these songs were recorded several years ago, but we had no way of releasing them worldwide or nationwide
Okay.
until now. So some of these songs have been written and recorded in the can, as we say, for quite some time. And we're just now getting around to releasing them. This is one of those songs. Greg and Noah wrote this because our manager at the time gave us guys in the band a project. And he says, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get some product in Cracker Barrel, right?
Oh,
Now, at the time, downloads were becoming a very popular thing, and physical CDs were a thing of the past, pretty much. I mean, Walmart, Anderson Merchandisers had kind of cut the amount of space that they were dedicating to CD sales in half. And so thus a lot of CD sales went by the wayside. And so we were just trying to find places that still sold physical product, and Cracker Barrel is one of those places. So we were trying hard to get into Cracker Barrel. Never happened for us, but anyway, this was the project. So he says, you guys go and each write a song. He gave it, me and Greg Cook were the two main songwriters in the band at the time. He said, each of you write a song that at least mentions Cracker Barrel. So this song is about a guy, and they even the characters in the song, even they were smart enough to even give them names and stuff. So again, story song starts at the beginning. This guy picks up, or he asks this girl out, and apparently she's way out of his league, and he can't believe that she says yes. And so they start off on this date that was he planned for weeks on this date, hoping that it wouldn't go wrong. And he picks her up. They don't even get a mile away from the house, and when they have a flat tire. And as he's changing the tire, then the rain starts pouring down. There's even a thunderclap in the middle of this song, which will scare you if you're not ready for it. But anyway, so they end up walking half a mile to the closest Cracker Barrel and having pancakes by the fireplace. So and then it sort of progresses on and on about how they end up getting married, and one day they'll tell their grandkids about the first date and how it all began like this. I love the storyline. I'm a big sucker for story songs.
yes.
And Greg and Noah just wrote the hit pockets off of this story. I just love it. And it's got a good guitar solo in it.
Oh my gosh, you're killing
I'm a
me.
guitar player. So I got to give myself a shout out. I didn't get to write on the song, so at least I got to play the cool guitar.
Oh, there you go. Wow, great story. Oh my gosh. Next one, it's gonna be something.
It's gonna be something. Now let me think. I know that gosh, I should have had a list of the writers. I know that not Steve Bogart, Jeff Stevens. Jeff Stevens co-wrote this song, and I don't recall. You'll have to forgive me. I don't recall who the other co-writer is on this song. But this is one of those tunes. And again, it's a story song, and the guitar hook at the beginning, I sort of just ripped off the guitar hook that was on the demo, but I changed it up a little bit. I've got a unique guitar that has these little string benders on it.
Wow.
That's installed, that you can't just buy one off the shelf like that. But it's got two string benders in it, one that attaches to my belt loop and the other that attaches to my strap. So when I pull down, it pulls the B string up to a C sharp, and when I push out, it pulls the G up to an A. So I get to play around. It simulates pedal steel guitar sounds on a guitar. So I get to play around with that. That's one of my favorite parts about that song is the fun little guitar stuff that we get to do. But it's got little, I guess you would call them vignettes, where it talks about different people, and how it talks about these different scenarios of people and how they met, and how they may or may not be right for each other, but they're right for each other right then and there. So I'm not going to say it's about a one night stand, but some might think it could be. So it's a fun song. Again, fun little story song. It's got several different vignette stories in it.
That's why I like asking about the songs, writing
Yeah.
them and
Well,
all that.
you're like me. You're a song fan. I'm a fan of songs. A
Yeah.
great song will live on long, long past the singer. Long past
Yeah.
his career. So that's
We love that the singers give us that song, but I love songwriters and I love storytelling, and I just I love about. I'm surprised when I interview a lot of songwriters and folks like you. I start asking them about the records, and they're all like, "I can't believe you're asking me about my songs." I'm like, "What? Are you kidding me?" It's like, yes, I
what
have to
it
know
should
about
be
the song.
about. Honestly, I I'm a big fan of songwriters too, and I am a songwriter. I don't consider myself a great lyricist, but when I co-write with other writers, my main contribution, because I'm a musician, is melody and chord patterns. And occasionally I might get a chance to throw a lyric in here and there, but I'm more of a melody and chord pattern kind of guy. So a melody has to catch me first because I'm a musician. And I think a lot of men are like that. Whereas women will listen to lyrics, men will have to be hooked by the melody first. At least that's been my experience.
Yep, I like it all. I love music, so it's all about music. I can't have a day without music. I could not imagine not having a day
No
without
kidding.
music.
No kidding.
so, so let's see. The next one on that one is the beauty of who you are. Oh,
Beauty of who you are. Oh man, we don't have anything to do with the writing of this song. This wasn't written by me or any of the guys in the band. This was written by Martin Broussard. Now, if you know who Martin Broussard is, he's kind of a obscure artist, but he should be a superstar, as talented as he is. He is a singing situation. Let me tell you, that guy has got a voice, and he's from Louisiana, so he's got a lot of soul and a lot of bayou in his sound. If you get a chance, I don't know if I should be doing this or not, if this is part of my media training, but if you get a chance, go on iTunes and look up Martin Broussard and listen to his version of that song, and then A/B it, compare it to our version. You'll tell that I basically just ripped off his vocal. I mean, I just tried to do every vocal lick he did. He does it a little better than me, but gosh, that song is so hard to sing, Judy. I've never sung it from start to finish. I've never been able to sing the song except the day that we sung it in the studio. And I had to go in fresh, with a good night's sleep and plenty of water. And I was just like, all right, let's see if I can hit these notes. Let's give it a try. And it was challenging. And I don't know if I could even do it in a show or not. We've never done it in the show before, but that's the most challenging song I have ever recorded. And like I said, I got to hand it to who was the producer on that session. That was Pat McMakin. Pat McMakin produced that particular track, and I got to hand it to him. He got some great, really nice vocal stuff out of me that day that I didn't think I was even capable of.
oh, I can't wait to hear it now. Jeez. Oh my gosh. See, great stories. Next one up is Feel Like Falling.
Another vocally challenging song. I Feel Like Falling, believe it or not, this was written by Luke Bryant and Shane Teeters. And again, we had nothing to do with the creation of this song, but when we heard the demo, we're a vocal band. I kind of patterned my vocal blend after bands. Oh, I'm so sorry. I should have turned that off. Anyway, I sort of patterned my vocal blend after bands like Restless Heart and the Eagles, where you have a melody vocal in the middle and you have two harmony vocals above that and two harmony vocals below that. And mostly we do parallel stuff. We don't do a whole lot of counterpoint or any of that weird choral music stuff. We just kind of do parallel harmonies. But I heard that song and I heard all these cool chord changes, and I heard how cool the vocals would be over those particular chord changes. And I honestly, I think the lyric is amazing too. It's got some great lyrics in it, like "I've been the king of heartache," "Goodbye's fastest gun," "Scarecrow to anything that slightly resembles love." I mean, that kind of a poetic, like a man that's been like, "Oh, I'm not going to settle down. I'm absolutely, yeah, I'm totally against settling down until he meets this one girl, and then he feels like falling. He's hooked once he meets this one girl, but until then he was totally against it. And we even start this song off with an a cappella vocal thing, and then the band kicks in. It's I love the recording. Pat McMakin produced this. Robert Wright. We have two different versions of this song. You'll have to forgive me. I'm trying to remember which one is on the latest project. This may be a Robert Wright production and remaster. So they really did a fine job with this particular song. I can't talk more about the way they approach the production of it and the arrangement of the vocals. You just got to give it a listen.
There you go. Another reason, folks. Oh, the next one is "I Knew."
I Knew. This is a soft song. I've actually sung this song at a wedding before. It's a perfect wedding song. Again, it's a love song. We like singing love songs. I mean, I think, who is the country music audience for the most part? It's women, right? And women love to hear songs about love, and men like to hear songs about love that they the perfect love. And for example, like women that are out of their reach, they love to hear those kind of stories, like the one we were talking about earlier, but the Cracker Barrel song of "No Wrong Way to Fall in Love." But this particular song, "I Knew," it's stripped down. It's all acoustic. There's not an electric instrument on the track except maybe the bass guitar. So, and very, very sparse on the drums, and a lot of really thick harmony vocals. Again, we're a vocal band, so I don't know. I'm trying to think. Eric Silver produced this. Several different producers on this particular project. Like I said, we recorded this in bits and pieces, and then we brought it all together to master it all as one project. But Eric produced this. He's the one who brought the song to us. I want to say he's a co-writer on the song as well. I believe it's a great love song. A lot of really strange chord patterns. It sounds, if I'm allowed to say this, at the time, the boy bands were really kind of taking over pop music. Boys to Men, NSYNC, bands like that, and they were even recording some country songs. You remember one of those bands? I want to say it was Boys to Men recorded a John Michael Montgomery song.
Yeah.
I swear, if I'm not mistaken. I guess Eric was kind of writing for something like that when he pitched us the song, thinking that we wouldn't want to record it because it was too poppy sounding, and we fell in love with it. And we was like, man, I love those chord changes, and it changes key from the verses to the choruses, and then goes back to the original key. It's very musically intricate, and like I said, I've only played it one time live, and that was at a wedding by myself. Which was weird because I had to, like, in mid song, I had to capo, move the capo to change keys for the last chorus. Anyway, it was a fun song to play and a fun song to sing. I really hope one day that me and the guys will work it up and sing it live sometime. That would be, we've never done that. We've never worked it up and sung it live.
Oh, that'll be cool, right?
Yeah.
Something to look forward to. Oh my gosh, see, great stories. Next one is "I Had to Be."
I had to be me. I had to be me. This is a song about women love to hear songs about men who regret their decisions. They love to hear men admit when they're wrong, and that's this song. This is this guy talking about, well, I could have done this, and I could have done that, and I could have taken her in my arms right there on the street, and I could have brought her some flowers. I could have called her up and apologized. All of these things I could have done, but nope, I had to be me. I mean, he had to be the dumbass. He had to be the dumbass himself, and instead he screwed everything up. So, a song about regret, about a man's regret for letting the perfect woman go.
Well, here in California, we have divorce ceremonies, so I guess that's a good divorce ceremony song.
You're kidding me?
No.
Like an actual ceremony?
Yes.
And the man and the wife agrees to do this to get to each. And
I did it.
You did a divorce ceremony
for my second husband.
Now that sounds like the kind of thing that you really need an open bar for.
And with the girl he left me for, she was there.
Oh, you got to be kidding me!
Next
you said do this.
Yes,
you said do this.
That's the kind of woman I am. He wanted to go.
Vows and stuff like that. Were there vows? Like I vowed.
Why we're leaving? Why he's leaving me? Exactly. So you can write a song about that.
Oh my God!
We'll have to talk.
No, I want to go to one of those. You see, that's an experience I've never had. I've never been. I live in Oklahoma, so I've been to like 1,000 rodeos, at least 500 county fairs and one hog calling, and never in my life have I been to a divorce ceremony.
Well, there you go. We'll look them. You'll have to start looking them up.
I guess so. Now I might have to book a flight to California just for that. That sounds like the only California thing to me.
Exactly, right? Los Angeles.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, I had to share that. Oh, here's this one. I can't wait to hear this one. Sweet Tea. Oh, I love that stuff.
Sweet tea. That is a song that I co-wrote with my buddy Brett Jones. And again, it was the Cracker Barrel incident where our manager comes to us and says, we're trying to get something in Cracker Barrel, so I need something from you guys. Greg wrote his song, No Wrong Way to Fall in Love. And I sat down with my buddy Brett Jones one Sunday afternoon, and we wrote, I told him the situation. I said, we're trying to get into Cracker Barrel, but I don't want to do it so blatantly. I don't want to start listing menu items off Cracker Barrel or I don't want it to sound like a Cracker Barrel commercial, but I want there to be a story in there because, again, I love story songs. And I had this guitar lick. In an alternate tuning.
Tune her up.
It was kind of a swampy kind of a thing. So it was like. Anyway, so I had this cool guitar lick that I thought would be a nice bed to write a lyric over. And Brett comes up with this thing, this story about this guy that's been that's so smitten with this Cracker Barrel waitress, 4-star Cracker Barrel waitress. We did our research on this song, because I don't know if you guys have Cracker Barrel in California or not.
Yes, we do now.
But yeah, okay, so you'll notice that the waitresses have stars on their aprons. Mm-hmm. Well, this is about a 4-star waitress from Cracker Barrel named Carol. Rhymes with barrel. Anyway, and it said right there on her apron, and this dude he's so smitten with her, he's so enamored with Carol that he shows up at the Cracker Barrel every day and he just sits there drinking sweet tea, and he keeps asking for another glass of sweet tea until he can get her name written down on it, or her number written down on his napkin. Which that line bothered me a little bit because Brett came up with it. I said, "Wait a minute, Brett. At Cracker Barrel, they have cloth napkins, so that doesn't make any sense." But we decided to let that go, and it's just something that bothers people like me. But my favorite line, and I'm the one that if I can say this, I wrote this one line, and I even got a little pushback on it from the guys in the band and from Brett, as there's a part in there. Now we got a dog named Herschel and a house on the edge of town. So it has a happy ending where she finally agrees. They go out, they have a great time, they end up getting married, and now they got the perfect family life. They got a dog named Herschel. Now my guys in the band was like, a dog named Herschel? Why a dog named Herschel? It's like, dude, look at a Cracker Barrel menu. Have you ever seen Uncle Herschel's favorite? It's on the breakfast side of the page. Uncle Herschel's favorite was my favorite breakfast item at Cracker Barrel. Well, it turns out Herschel was the favorite uncle of the founder of Cracker Barrel. He's the guy in the Cracker Barrel logo sitting next to the Cracker Barrel in that chair. So that I decided we had to name the dog Herschel because I knew that the Cracker Barrel people would get it, even though maybe nobody else. The Cracker Barrel people would get it anyway. It didn't work. We never got product in Cracker Barrel, so it was a shame. But that didn't ever happen. We got 2 songs on this project that both mention Cracker Barrel in them, and I thought about throwing one of them out because I thought that was just too weird. But I like both songs. I co-wrote one of them. My buddy co-wrote the other one, so I thought I'm going to leave them both in there.
Oh, well, there you go. See, I'm telling you a story behind every song. The last one here is Freedom Isn't Free.
Freedom Isn't Free. That is a song it's one of those wish you had written it songs. I wish I had had a hand in writing this song. This was written by 2 of the original members of Ricochet, Greg Cook and Eddie Kilgallen. Eddie K has written a huge George Strait song, a song called One Night at a Time, 5-week #1 song for George Strait. He co-wrote that. And honestly, Eddie K had a huge #1 hit on the radio before he even got a cut on a Ricochet project. That's just the way the machine worked back in the 90s. Our producers and our A&R people at the labels, they didn't really want us, providing our own songs. They didn't want us contributing to our own projects. So they would go outside and find outside songs. And so we hardly ever got any of our own stuff on our own projects. But this is one of my favorites. We had just come back from a tour, USO tour of Asia. and we got to visit the DMZ in Korea. And one of the presentations, a gentleman was giving a presentation and talking about all the different things that had happened there on the DMZ and all the different operations. And the very last thing he said during his presentation is, freedom is not free. I'll never forget those words. I remember making a mental note of it myself, thinking, oh, that's good. And then the next week, Greg and Eddie Kay had a writing appointment together. Maybe they even wrote it on the flight home. I'm not sure, but they had the song written before I could even schedule something with someone else or even with them to sit down and write. So it's one of those songs that I, again, wish I had had a hand in writing it. But we have two different versions of this song. The original version that Eddie Kilgallen produced is not on this project, but it's sort of a big band, a lot of horns and marching drums and stuff like that as part of the musical bed. And we honestly thought it sounded a little too, I don't know, popish or just too much. It was just too big of a production for this project. So years later, Greg Cook comes up with this idea to produce it in kind of a, I don't know, like a Waylon Jennings type record, you know, with a really cool guitar, Waylon type guitar lick at the beginning and throughout the song. So the two versions of this song are night and day. So the true Ricochet fans out there will be able to find the original recording of it somewhere. But the one that we have on this project is the newer recording, the more countrified version. But it's a song about our freedoms and what it costs for us to stay free.
Wow, they're amazing. You can't wait. You know, yeah, salute to all of the men and women that give us our freedom.
Yes.
Right. It's like,
yes,
oh my goodness. So August 18th is, folks, is when the CD is going to be released. And I also understand that's going to mark the 30th anniversary of your band, of formation of your band back in 1993. That's super cool.
Very close, very close. I moved to Nashville, as I said, on May 18th, 1993. So yeah, actually, you're exactly right. It's going to be the 30th anniversary. We are actually 30. I can't believe that. We started, 30 years. That's, my son thinks that's funny. My son turns 21 tomorrow.
Oh my
and so he'll see, you know, he sees awards and he sees stuff like that, so he knows that my career is in country music. And every now and then something old will play, like an old Grand Ole Opry performance will play on television, like on RFD TV or something like that. I think they have a show called Opera Encore, and we caught one day, and their dad was on TV. I was like, I don't know, 27, 28 years old, and dad, and you know, Dustin's looking at it and looking at me. It's like, Dad, you were really young back then. I was like, yeah, thank you, son. I know I've aged a little, but come on. Give me a break there. I'm 56 years old now. I can't believe, Judy, I can't believe I'm 56 and I've got a new project coming out. Brand new. It's great.
We're so happy for you.
Well, I'm blessed. I'm very honored and pleased that folks like you guys give me a chance to come on and talk about it.
Yeah, thank you for telling us about all the songs. We all look forward to hearing them, and make sure that we'll get links out there so that everyone knows where to go and get the new CD. So
I really appreciate it.
So you actually have CDs to sell, or are they going to be a download?
I found out yesterday that not only are we going to have CDs, you know, some people still like to have that physical product to hold in their hands. I know we live in an age of downloads. Yeah, me too. My son, last year for my birthday, my son bought me a record player, a vinyl record player.
Vinyl, yes.
I found out yesterday that we're gonna do a limited pressing of vinyl on this project.
I want one.
Well, there's only 250, so you got to put in your order. Well, excuse me, it's going to be 249 because I'm getting the first one.
Okay, well then I'm getting down. I'll get the last one.
Okay, well, no, you'll get one. But the thing is you know, vinyl is making a comeback again.
It is,
and so I love. This will be the very first time in my career I've ever got to hear my music on vinyl.
Awesome.
Because Sony never did that. Sony never printed anything on vinyl. It wasn't a big deal back in the 90s, but it's, you know, it's making a resurgence now, just like 90s music is.
Oh my gosh. Well, we're all looking forward to that. And we'll put out your social media for those to follow you. So I'm assuming you're all on social media.
Oh yes, I got a guy that keeps up with all of that myself. I'm old, so I only look at Facebook. I have an Instagram account, and I have I guess it's an X account now, Twitter. And I've got all of these other socials out there, but my Austin takes care of all of those. I just kind of look at my own personal Facebook page.
Cool.
You know?
Well, we do appreciate you taking the time, and we're so excited about this new project. And we will make sure that this gets out on August 18th. So all of our fans and your fans will be able to know where to get the new CD.
Well, Judy, thank you so much. And I just want to say in closing, I want to say thank you to all the fans out there for a wonderful career that we've had so far. As I said, I can't believe I'm 56 years old and I'm still playing music for a living. I get to live two different dreams. I get to live here on my ranch in eastern Oklahoma, the Rockin' W. During the week, I get to be a cattleman. And on the weekends, I get to climb on my bus and we go out and play country music for the people. So it's been such a great ride, and there's more to come. Check out our tour schedule. You haven't experienced Ricochet till you've seen a live show. So definitely check out our tour schedule, which is on the website Rockin'. No, excuse me, that's my ranch. It's ricochetonline.com. Now, don't forget the online part. Ricochet. I know most people can't spell Ricochet. Don't feel bad. Us and Shenandoah, we're the most misspelled bands in country music. So Ricochet is RICOCHET online.com, ricochetonline.com. Our tour schedule's on there. Come see us. We want to meet you after the show. We always sign autographs and meet our fans after the show. So can't wait to see you guys out on the road.
All right. Thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
You bet. Thank you, Judy.